Hey, so today I am transforming a duck puppet. Well, not just any duck puppet, Frank. Since I know absolutely nothing about making puppets, I bought a generic duck puppet on Amazon, some craft supplies, and we're just going to go ahead and see where this goes. So, first, we have to take off this cute little cap and scarf, not because they're bad, but because Frank is not sleepy or French. He's more like tired, like trucker kind of tired. At this point, I realized that I really did need my glasses because I don't want to accidentally give Frank a lobotomy. My eyes are no longer 26, but they're also no longer 35. So, yes, truckers don't wear little sleep bonnets and scarves. They have gravel in their shoes and drink black coffee. I decided to use fabric markers because I thought dye would be messy and potentially dangerous, although honestly, all situations have that potential. So, just like everything else, we'll see how this goes. First of all, I did the brown, and the markers look like they're doing really well. They are easy to use, and the more kid friendly, the better, I say, because me and instructions don't always get along. And I just realized that this coloring session is going to be a really long process. So I just went ahead and picked out the gunk from his head, and we're going to go ahead and try this. Boom. I learned that little trick from a 12-year-old on Instagram. Okay, so Frank's base layer is almost done, and I left this little bright yellow strip at the bottom because that's basically his childhood wound from being forced to look cheerful on camera. I can't say that hasn't presented challenges in our relationship, but he's growing. And when you love someone, you love all of them, you know? So let's try and put some black over the top of that yellow trauma. And we don't want Frank to be scarred for life, just a little bit maimed like the rest of us. I had some foam to put under Frank's eyelids to really make them pop. Frank hates purple, so naturally I used purple foam for this part. Apparently, purple reminds him of pigeons because pigeons are insufferable, a lot of them, he says. They're always throwing their weight around because they're related to doves, like they're ultra spiritual or something. We're going to go ahead and just do the best we can with this eyelid situation. Frank isn't symmetrical, and he's a little bit sensitive about it because he was hoping to launch a modeling career back in 2022. Anyway, the fabric markers are bleeding onto my hands, so we're going to go ahead and let Frank dry for 24 hours because he doesn't need any more problems. This bag is made of titanium. Okay, there, yay, feathers. Today, we feather Frank. I'm excited about this, and I like to imagine that he is too, although he would never admit it. Frank took a little longer to dry than expected, but we are back in action. What was supposed to be a 24-hour journey turned into a 3-day expedition that involved dryer bag and sitting underneath the AC vent. I really feel terrible about that. But anyway, the lesson is that layering fabric markers too heavily without sufficient drying time between each layer equals unnecessary complications for unsuspecting ducks. Frank's feathers are a little less realism and a little more abstract with emotional issues, so that's what we're really trying to capture here. And at this point, we're mostly aiming for a weathered but still approachable look. You know, like a good trauma counselor, or, me. I think Frank is lovely. His flaws are what make him so lovable. The other day, my friend came over and seemed very offended with the way that I have treated Frank. He looked at me and said, "You did this to him," to which I replied, "I did not. I freed him." Whatever was going on before was not the authentic duck that we see before us today. Nobody likes fake ducks, and I think Frank is special. Frank and I have had lengthy discussions about his questionable relationship decisions. He has a permanent reminder of that now because there was an incident involving a very cute wood duck, a bucket of white paint, and Frank's beak. Unfortunately for Frank, white paint does not completely stay on duck's beaks or come off of a duck's beak. But that's a story for another time, should he decide to tell it. Frank is worth way more than the breadcrumbs he has been settling for, because breadcrumbs are for the birds. And there you have it, Frank, an American black duck with a complicated past, strong opinions about pigeons, and the firm belief that he is worth the whole loaf.